Hey, 49ers fans! Today we're diving deep into what could be a very interesting offseason for our team, with a focus on the roster, potential upgrades, and the questions that still hang over San Francisco as we look toward the upcoming season. The buzz around the team has been centered on a potential signing that could shake things up in a big way. There's been talk about Tyler Linderbaum joining the squad on a long-term deal, and if that happens, it could represent a serious upgrade for the offensive line. Linderbaum has been highly rated in the metrics that matter for a center, especially in run blocking, and while his pass protection may not be elite, it's still a clear step up from what Jake Bindle has offered. Bindle had an improved season, no doubt, but statistically he ranked far below the top centers in pass protection, making this potential move seem like a smart play to strengthen the core of the offensive line. Now, it's important to remember that this move, while exciting on paper, may not align with what Kyle Shanahan envisions for the team's financial priorities. Shanahan has shown a preference for protecting the mobile quarterback system by not overspending on the offensive line, at least for now. That doesn't mean an upgrade would be unwelcome, far from it, but it does raise bigger questions about the rest of the roster. If a major contract is used to secure a center, does that leave other positions that need attention underserved? It's the kind of strategic puzzle that fans have been discussing endlessly, especially when considering the off-season roster moves that could make or break the team's success next year. Reflecting on the past season, the Niners faced some tough lessons against the Seahawks. Losing twice in very similar fashion highlighted the gap between what the 49ers could do and what teams with slightly different personnel accomplished. The Seahawks, led by Sam Darnold, who many had counted out, showcased how much a few key weapons can impact a team's efficiency in scoring. While it was frustrating at the time, it also serves as a clear roadmap for improvement. The Niners need to assess exactly why they struggled to generate points against Seattle when other teams, like the Rams, were able to do so consistently. The answer, as analysts have pointed out, lies not just in the quarterback's ability, but in the lack of dynamic receiving options that can stretch defenses and create mismatches, especially in the red zone. Speaking of receiving threats, the team's wide receiver room remains a topic of considerable discussion. Players like Jawan Jennings have delivered impressive performances in certain moments, showing reliability in critical situations and the ability to make plays under pressure. Yet, the question of whether he fits as a primary option is complicated by salary considerations and the need to balance talent with financial flexibility. San Francisco's front office will need to decide whether to invest in keeping Jennings at a high cost or to pursue a new, more dynamic wideout who can consistently challenge defenses and provide Brock Purdy with a true go-to-target. Injuries also played a significant role last season, with key players like Brandon Ayuk missing extended periods, limiting the offensive continuity and creating gaps that affected overall performance. The reality is that even when the team was healthy, the absence of a consistent wide receiver one made it difficult to fully maximize the offensive potential. The draft offers opportunities to address these gaps, especially at wide receiver. The recent classes have produced players capable of making an immediate impact, and it's expected that San Francisco will have options to bolster this critical position. Beyond the draft, there's also the question of how the offensive line can be strengthened. Upgrades at guard and potentially at center could make a significant difference in both protecting the quarterback and opening running lanes for Christian McCaffrey. While Jake Bindle showed improvement in run blocking, pass protection remains an area where incremental gains could translate to more sustained drives and fewer stalled possessions, which was a recurring issue in key games last season. Evaluating the overall offensive strategy, it's clear that speed and versatility at receiver, combined with a more robust offensive line, are the priorities that can directly impact success. Shanahan's system thrives on timing, precision, and exploiting defensive weaknesses, so adding players who can execute at a high level while maintaining flexibility across positions is crucial. This doesn't just apply to the starting lineup. Depth is equally important. Injuries exposed vulnerabilities in the past season, and ensuring that backups can step in without significant drop-off will be key to maintaining a competitive edge throughout the long season and into the playoffs. On the defensive side, while there are always areas to examine, the team's investment in high-quality talent over the past few years has positioned San Francisco well. Players like Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, and Trent Williams remain among the highest rated at their positions, providing a strong foundation despite a few high-profile misses in recent drafts. The overall roster strength suggests that the team is more than capable of competing at the highest level in the NFC. Balancing this core with smart off-season acquisitions will likely determine whether the Niners can not only return to the playoffs but make a deeper run than in previous years. The management approach also warrants attention. Critics may point to perceived shortcomings in roster decisions, but the investment in top-tier talent across multiple positions indicates a commitment to building a sustainable, competitive team. While the draft is always a gamble, and free agency presents challenges in prioritizing financial resources, the strategic focus appears to be on maximizing both present-day performance and long-term flexibility. The potential acquisition of a player like Linderbaum, combined with targeted improvements in the receiving cores, aligns with this vision by addressing to areas with the highest impact on offensive efficiency. In summary, the upcoming offseason is shaping up to be a pivotal moment for the 49ers, with clear priorities in the offensive line and receiving positions. Coupled with a talented core on defense, the team has the pieces to elevate its performance. Decisions made now about roster composition, salary allocation, and draft strategy will influence the trajectory of the season ahead. The key will be balancing immediate upgrades with sustainable growth, ensuring that the team remains competitive not just in individual games, but across the entire season and into the postseason. Fans should expect intense discussions around potential signings, draft picks, and strategic moves that can truly reshape the offensive identity of the team while preserving the strengths that have made the 49ers one of the most respected franchises in the league. As we dive further into the offseason outlook for the 49ers, it's impossible to ignore the ripple effects of injuries from last season and how they shape both performance and perception. Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, and George Kittle carried the offensive load in ways that were remarkable given the circumstances. But the gaps left by absent wide receivers like Brandon Ayuk and inconsistent production from Ricky Pyle highlighted the fragility of relying on a few star players. Depth at key positions was tested repeatedly, and while the team showed resilience, it also underscored the need for a more complete roster. The question for the front office is how to construct a team that can not only weather injuries, but maintain high efficiency regardless of who is in the lineup. Which brings us back to the pressing discussion of wide receivers and offensive line improvements. When you analyze the numbers from last season, the contrast between the 49ers and their NFC rivals becomes stark. Teams like the Seahawks and Rams benefited from dynamic receiving threats that could consistently beat press coverage and create separation for the quarterback. Jackson Smith, Jigba, and Puka Nua each demonstrated the ability to stretch the field, force defensive adjustments, and open up the entire offense. By comparison, the 49ers struggled to generate that kind of consistent threat, often relying on McCaffrey and Kittle to serve as primary options in both running and passing situations. While both are elite in their roles, neither replicates the matchup problems that a true wide receiver one creates, meaning defenses could anticipate and adjust without fearing a major deep threat. Brock Purdy's performance last season, given the circumstances, was nothing short of impressive. Even with missing pieces around him, he maintained a high level of play, showing poise in the pocket and resilience in executing under pressure. That said, the quarterback's efficiency is intrinsically linked to the talent surrounding him. Missed opportunities from receivers, lapses in protection, or even subtle route running errors can drastically affect output. And the 49ers had more than their fair share of those challenges. Evaluating last year's tape, you see moments where receivers drifted in coverage, breaking the timing rhythm that Shanahan's system depends on. These moments, while minor on an individual play scale, compound over the season and highlight why the team needs sharper, faster, and more consistent options at receiver. The offensive line is equally crucial to the team's future success. Jake Bindle's improvement in run blocking was a step forward, yet pass protection remains a concern. Investing in a player like Tyler Linderbaum could address this gap. But it's also a matter of balancing the broader financial picture. Allocating significant resources to a single position may come at the expense of other needs, making the draft and smart free agency moves even more critical. Shanahan's track record suggests he values versatility and mobility in his offensive line, particularly with a quarterback capable of extending plays. But that doesn't mean the team can ignore foundational upgrades that provide both consistency and durability. One of the most compelling discussions this offseason revolves around how the 49ers prioritize speed and versatility across the roster, adding a dynamic wide receiver who can stretch the field, beat man coverage, and create separation in the red zone would fundamentally change how defenses approach the team. It would also alleviate some of the pressure on McCaffrey and Kittle, allowing them to operate more effectively without drawing constant double coverage. The draft could provide options here, and scouting reports suggest there will be multiple candidates capable of stepping into significant roles immediately. The challenge will be selecting players who not only possess talent, but also fit Shanahan's precise offensive system and can contribute on short notice. Another layer to consider is the financial structure of the team. High-value contracts for top performers like Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, and George Kittle provide a solid foundation, but they also limit flexibility elsewhere. Decisions regarding players like Jawan Jennings are emblematic of this tension. Jennings has shown flashes of brilliance and reliability in clutch moments, but questions remain about whether he can serve as a consistent number one receiver with a potential high salary looming. The front office must weigh his contributions against the possibility of acquiring a new receiver who can offer consistent production while maintaining cap flexibility. This kind of decision is not purely about talent, it's about long-term roster sustainability, balancing immediate needs with future potential, and ensuring the team does not overcommit in one area at the expense of others. Looking at the defensive side, while the team's top-end talent remains elite, depth and rotational strength will also be important. Injuries can derail even the most talented defense, and the 49ers experienced this firsthand in key moments last season. Maintaining a robust defensive rotation, particularly along the line and in the secondary, will help preserve the team's competitive edge over a long season. The division itself is unforgiving, with the Seahawks and Rams consistently fielding high-powered offenses, meaning every matchup requires precision, preparation, and the ability to adapt mid-game. Having depth on both sides of the ball allows for greater flexibility in play calling and mitigates the risk of fatigue, particularly during stretches of consecutive road games or short week matchups. The overarching theme for the 49ers moving forward is optimization. Every move, draft, free agency, or strategic adjustment needs to serve the dual purpose of addressing current gaps while enhancing the overall identity of the team, improving speed and versatility at receiver, solidifying the offensive line, and balancing cap space with talent acquisition are not isolated decisions. They interact in ways that directly impact performance, sustainability, and competitive positioning. Fans often focus on headline acquisitions, but it is the combination of incremental improvements and high-impact strategic moves that ultimately determines how deep the team can go in the playoffs. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. A sensational rumor is shaking the NFL landscape. DeFOREST Buckner could be making a dramatic return to the San Francisco 49ers, and sources suggest he wouldn't just be coming back as a familiar face, he would take on the role of absolute leader of the 49ers defense. Buckner, whose presence on the defensive line has long been feared by quarterbacks across the league, is reportedly being eyed as the cornerstone around which San Francisco could build a revitalized defensive strategy. Insiders whisper that the 49ers are looking for more than just talent. They want a voice, a commanding presence, someone who can inspire young players and elevate the unit to elite status. Buckner, known for his relentless pass rush and unmatched football IQ, fits that mold perfectly. Fans who remember his initial stint with the team know he has the ability to completely change the rhythm of a game, not just through sacks, but by disrupting everything the offense attempts to do. Some analysts even speculate that his return could signal a larger shift in the 49ers' defensive philosophy, with a heavier focus on aggression and pressure up front. While official statements remain scarce, insiders claim that discussions have been productive and that both sides are very interested in making the reunion happen. The potential signing would undoubtedly excite the fan base, as Buckner's impact goes beyond statistics. His leadership in the locker room, work ethic on the practice field, and ability to mentor rising stars could be exactly what the team needs to reclaim defensive dominance in the league. Of course, in the world of the NFL, rumors can twist and turn faster than a blitzing linebacker. Yet the notion of Buckner returning to San Francisco has already sparked wild speculation. across social media, with fans imagining the defensive line terrorizing quarterbacks once again. Whether this move materializes or not, one thing is clear: the 49ers are exploring bold options. And Buckner's name at the center of these rumors underscores just how ambitious their plans might be. Keep watching if this comes together. It could be one of the most electrifying storylines of the NFL season. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.